Nothing will benefit human health and increase the chances for survival of life on Earth as much as the evolution to a vegetarian diet. I don't try to imagine a personal God. It suffices to stand and look at the structure of the world, insofar as it allows our inadequate senses to appreciate it. Excellence is doing a common thing in an uncommon way. Never do anything against conscience, even if the state demands it. How I wish that somewhere there existed an island for those who are wise and of goodwill. Out of clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Small is the number of them that see with their own eyes and feel with their own hearts. Intelligence is not the ability to store information, but to know where to find it. As our circle of knowledge expands, so does the circumference of darkness surrounding it. Be a loner. That gives you time to wonder, to search for the truth. Have holy curiosity. Make your life worth living. You do not really understand something unless you can explain it to your grandmother. Anyone who doesn't take truth seriously in small matters cannot be trusted in large ones either. I am not a genius. I am just curious. I ask many questions. And when the answer is simple, then God is answering. Truth is what stands the test of experience. The most important decision we make is whether we believe we live in a friendly or hostile universe. The formulation of the problem is often more essential than its solution, which may be merely a matter of mathematical or experimental skill. There is nothing known as perfect. It's only those imperfections which we choose not to see. We are all life trying to live, among other life, trying to live. Concerning matter, we have been all wrong. What we have called matter is energy, whose vibration has been so lowered as to be perceptible to the senses. There is no matter. A perfection of means and confusion of aims seems to be our main problem. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. If you want your children to be intelligent, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be more intelligent, read them more fairy tales. The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. It is the fundamental emotion that stands at the cradle of true art and true science. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. It would be possible to describe everything scientifically, but it would make no sense. It would be without meaning. As if you described the Beethoven symphony as a variation of wave pressure. Try not to become a man of success. Rather become a man of value. I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. The world is a dangerous place to live, not because of the people who are evil, but because of the people who don't do anything about it. The best way to cheer yourself is to cheer somebody else up. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. The woman who follows the crowd will usually go no further than the crowd. The woman who walks alone is likely to find herself in places no one has ever been before. Genius is 1% talent and 99% hard work. Wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is at all comprehensible. Reading, after a certain age, diverts the mind too much from its creative pursuits. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. Few people are capable of expressing with equanimity opinions which differ from the prejudices of their social environment. Most people are incapable of forming such opinions. If I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about solutions. If there were any religion that could respond to the needs of modern science, it would be Buddhism. The revolution introduced me to art, and in turn, art introduced me to the revolution. Life is a preparation for the future, and the best preparation for the future is to live as if there were none. When I examine myself and my methods of thought, I come to the conclusion that the gift of fantasy has meant more to me than any talent for abstract, positive thinking. The only real valuable thing is intuition. It is my view that the vegetarian manner of living, by its purely physical effect on the human temperament, would most beneficially influence the lot of mankind. Laws alone cannot secure freedom of expression. In order that every man present his views without penalty, there must be spirit of tolerance in the entire population. When the solution is simple, God is answering. We cannot solve our problems with the same level of thinking that created them. The only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. One thing I have learned in a long life, that all our science, measured against reality, is primitive and childlike, and yet it is the most precious thing we have. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. I never teach my pupils. I only attempt to provide the conditions in which they can learn. A man should look for what is, and not for what he thinks should be. Student is not a container you have to fill, but a torch you have to light up. The only sure way to avoid making mistakes is to have no new ideas. You have to learn the rules of the game, and then you have to play better than anyone else. The true value of a human being can be found in the degree to which he has attained liberation from the self. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. What really interests me is whether God had any choice in the creation of the world. No amount of experimentation can ever prove me right. A single experiment can prove me wrong.